Hi, I'm Kitty Steffens with the Kansas City Office of Management and Budget. Welcome to the Weekly Report. Part of our job in the Budget Office is to gather input from residents on what they'd like to see their tax dollars spent on. Sidewalks like these here on 22nd Street are always a high priority for residents. As you can see, this voter-approved Go KC project has been completed, and city officials cut a ribbon here recently to celebrate the occasion.
This project that has been on the book now for over 30 years in the making is finally done. But this is a great sign of how when we roll up our sleeves, we get things done, and this project certainly signifies just that.
I also need to thank the voters who, like you said, in 2017 passed that general obligation bond, which supported the $800 million in capital improvements programs in the city's infrastructure for the next 20 years.
All of the landscape that goes along with this is a true reflection of our tax dollars at work.
Each year, the Office of Management and Budget holds resident work sessions to discover what your priorities are. We'd like you to participate in a resident work session. Work sessions are scheduled for Saturday, August 3rd, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. at Southeast Community Center, 4201 East 63rd Street. Monday, August 5th, noon to 2 p.m. at the National World War I Museum and Memorial, 2 Memorial Drive. And Thursday, August 15th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Briarcliff Church, 800 Northeast Vivian Road. Road improvements are another part of the annual city budget. Work continues on the Old Tiffany Springs Road Bridge, and beginning August 5th, the bridge will be closed as crews move toward the final stages of the new bridge construction. The new bridge is expected to be open in late November. Also, all lanes of I-29 at the bridge will be closed from 5 a.m. August 10th through 5 a.m. August 11th for the construction. If you have plans to fly out of KCI, this may impact your trip. Be sure to include extra time to get there. For more information about the project, visit kcmo.gov/Old Tiffany Springs Road. Did you know August 16th is recognized as a Kansas City holiday? The City Council passed an ordinance in 2018 to create 816 Day, celebrating all things KC. Get out and enjoy Kansas City culture, featuring live entertainment, branded events, and special shopping and dining deals created for that occasion. Day-long festivities throughout the metro will culminate at the City Market with a theatrical performance by Kemet the Phantom. It's almost back to school time, and Kansas City residents can take advantage of the annual 3-day back-to-school sales tax holiday. From Friday, August 2nd through Sunday, August 4th, shoppers who purchase certain items of clothing, shoes, school supplies, and computers in Kansas City, Missouri stores will not have to pay any sales tax. For a complete list of eligible items, visit dor.mo.gov and search Back to School. Now let's go to video reports from the city departments. Thanks for watching the Weekly Report. I'm Kitty Steffens with the Kansas City Office of Management and Budget, and we hope to see you at the resident work sessions.
Manager of solid waste. Illegal dumps are reported to our customer service number by citizens.
My name is Alan Ashurst. I'm an illegal dumping investigator for the city of Kansas City, Missouri. Illegal is not just a clever name. It is illegal to take anything that's, meant to be disposed of and put it out on the street. So we're out here at these locations trying to figure out if there's anything clues-wise or evidence-wise that's going to lead us to whoever would be responsible for illegal dumping.
Illegal dump sites contain a plethora of things, anything from appliances such as stoves, refrigerators, and stereos for that matter, to yard waste, trees, grass, dirt.
Well, we're going to investigate illegal dumping through a number of ways. People can report it to us via the 311 action hotline, via the phone, internet, email. We have a 513 dump, which is a hotline for people that have actually witnessed illegal dumping. And then we have surveillance cameras that are placed around at illegal dump sites citywide. Any one of those things are ways to get a hold of us and ways that we use to find evidence. We go through trash looking for evidence, anything with an address, license plates, come up on surveillance cams or eyewitnesses. Any number of ways that we can, anything and everything really, that's going to lead us to somebody that's responsible for an illegal dump.
Household hazardous waste such as paints, aerosol containers and those things. There's roofing materials, there's going to be drywall, there could be anything you can think of, furniture. You know, nothing is exempt from being illegally dumped and disposed of.
When I'm called out onto a case, I'm going to have to find enough evidence to take somebody to court, first and foremost. The city ordinance says I need 3 pieces of something, 3 pieces of evidence that's going to lead me to a perpetrator. With 3 pieces of evidence, I can take them to court.
Here in Kansas City, we have a multitude of options to dispose of your waste. It doesn't have to resort to illegally dumping it because the majority of this will collect from your curb. If citizens and people like would place their stuff out to their curbs, then we can collect it there in a more efficient and costly manner.
But the overall bottom line is it's somebody that just doesn't care. Last person I spoke to about this particular location said, well, there's no sign. And I said, sir, do you really need a sign to tell you you can't throw your garbage out on the side of the road? I think that the kind of person that's going to throw something like this out in somebody's neighborhood deserves a big fat fine.
We want people to take advantage of these services and programs. We have a leaf and brush program, we have a waste tire drop-off program, we have a household hazardous waste program, we even have clean sweeps and a dumpster program.
I believe what we're doing is working. Our fines are high. In the 6 years I've been doing this and the 850 tickets that I've written, I've had 5 people reoffend.
Hello, I'm Jeff Hurley with KC Park Rangers. I want to share some tips with you to help you stay safe and be responsible at our parks and amenities. Whenever you come to a park, we ask that you always use the designated parking areas. Driving or parking on the grass is not allowed. Put your belongings and valuables in your trunk prior to arriving and lock your doors. Please don't litter or leave trash behind. Always put trash in the provided containers and recycle whenever possible. If you bring your dog, we ask that you always have them on a leash and pick up after them. It's the law. It also helps keep our parks clean and pollution out of the waterways. Remember, if it's on the ground, it's in the water. And while I know our fountains are tempting on a hot day, it is not safe nor healthy to get in a fountain. It also is against the law. We have lots of spray grounds that are free throughout the city, and we ask that you keep cool there or at one of our pools. Kansas City Parks and Recreation has amazing parks, fountains, museums, and green spaces for you to enjoy. Thank you for helping us keep your parks safe and enjoyable. I'm Jeff Hurley with KC Parks, where KC plays.
Dozens of law enforcement officers representing security, military, and corrections have come from all over the world to the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department for a week-long annual seminar with the National Law Enforcement Training Center. Retired KCPD Officer Mike Hughes is NLETC's Vice President and Director of Training. The intense exercises are designed to help officers keep themselves and the suspects safe.
We start off with our basic controlled defensive tactics, which goes back as far as how we want them to stand, patterns of movement, relative positioning when contacting a subject, and then it goes into arrest and control tactics, personal defense, and then the biggest piece with all of our training is we go into care and custody. We always finish with care and custody of the people that we arrest, even in the worst case scenarios when we're safe and it's safe to do so, switching into the role of caregivers.
One of the techniques developed and taught at KCPD is called the lateral vascular neck restraint, or LVNR, developed by KCPD's former defensive tactics instructor, Jim Lindell.
It is not an airway choke, and it quite often gets confused with that. It affects the sides of the neck. It actually serves the system that Mr. Lindell came up with, actually has levels, so a subject actually has an opportunity to stop resisting. The goal is not to render somebody unconscious. It's just a byproduct of continued resistance. And the neck brace principle involved in the lateral vascular neck restraint actually serves to not only protect the airway of the suspect, but the spinal structure of the suspect. So it's actually done with the suspect in mind and the officer being able to gain control of a larger suspect with the least amount of possibility of injuring them. Now, the lateral vascular neck restraint is unlike anything else in the sense that we have had zero litigation or zero serious injury to an officer or a suspect with the use of LVNR in its entire existence. So that's part of that is just being blessed, but the reality is it's by its track record is safer than almost any other tool used in law enforcement.
NLETC has had a partnership with KCPD since Lindell founded the organization, and now the two entities have a relationship that has lasted more than 40 years.
We bring people from all over this world to come to Kansas City, Missouri to get this excellent court defensible training where, again, not only are we saving the officers' lives, we're also saving suspects' lives in the case of controlling people before things get out of hand. So it's great training. It's a great exposure for KCPD, and KCPD and NLETC's relationship is an outstanding exposure to all of our law enforcement family from across the world.
In addition to the physical training, there is classroom instruction on legal issues and other individualized training. For this reason, he says it's all about service.
The bottom line is we really stress that what we're doing here is a service. So I often equate law enforcement to like being a waiter or a waitress. You know, you meet someone that you don't know, you have to figure out what their day's been like, you have to figure out the best way to serve them, and then you want to do that and leave them the best way you can. The difference is we carry weapons, and sometimes our customers, you know, might assault us. But the bigger picture is we don't live in a world where we're assaulted every day. We don't live in a world where we get in shootings every day. So the bigger piece of what we're trying to drive home is that service piece and what we can do within our power to avoid those human factors that cause that perception through good training that's court defensible and treating people like people. And that's what it comes down to for our company and many other companies out there, but especially here at NLETC in our relationship with KCPD, we want to serve our community, and we want them to trust us, and we want them to have faith in us, and we want a relationship with them, and we drive that home in everything that we do. It's not a us against them thought process. We're not training people to fight the people that we serve. We're training people to stay alive so they can further serve the people that we serve.
NLETC and KCPD has hosted officers from Canada, Sweden, Africa, and all over the U.S. I'm Sergeant Luther DeYoung. Have a safe week.
Today we are at Musical Theater Heritage, located on the third level of the Crown Center shops at 2450 Grand, where nearly 50,000 visitors are expected this year alone. Today we are also speaking with Executive Artistic Director Tim Scott, who will tell us what happens behind the scenes and in front on the stage. Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, can you give me a little background on why the history of the American theater Why is that the focus of Musical Theater Heritage?
Right, so Musical Theater Heritage was founded by George Harder, who of the syndicated radio show A Night on the Town, and MTH was formed to kind of syndicate and broaden that mission to a national audience. And then the live component came about because there was really no local mission. So George found he had a lot of audience all over the country, 24 radio stations throughout the United States of America, but really in Kansas City, there was no local mission. And since his mission was, musical theater on the radio and Broadway through the decades, he decided to bring that live component to Kansas City and to MTH. So we started producing live shows really back in 2003 at the old Belger Arts Center, the great Belger building, on a loading dock. And so it was very eclectic, and we did concert style musicals there starting in 2003, and we've evolved into full-scale produced musicals today.
And you, in addition to your current season, which your upcoming performance is in the Heights, which is a huge hit, Tony Award-winning hit. What other programs do you have that are going on that people may not be aware of because they're not performances necessarily?
Right, so we specialize in musical theater, Broadway style shows. I like to say we do big Broadway musicals in a theater with only 7 rows. It's so unique. There's nothing really like it in Kansas City and not really anywhere, because to do a big Broadway musical in such an intimate space is certainly challenging. But beyond that, we like to partner with other music organizations. We've partnered with the People's Liberation Big Band a lot, and we've brought in their group. Red Cox is great, and of course Ensemble Iberica, Bo Bledsoe. We have a show coming up with them this week, and other music organizations that are Kansas City based that we feel are in alignment with our mission, which is mostly musically based. And we'll also bring in acts from out of town. We brought in Heather McRae, of course. The great Heather McRae was in the original Broadway production of Hair. Her father's Gordon McRae, to do her own one-person show. Claiborne Elder, Tally Sessions, Corey Cott, Laura Osnes, bringing in Jeremy Jordan, the great Jeremy Jordan, he was the original in Newsies, to do his show coming up later this year. So yeah, it's not just musical theater, but we really kind of try to specialize in a lot of different areas of musical performance. And then of course the Empire Dance Academy in our newly renovated dance studio a few years ago, where Kenny Personette runs and maintains his own dance facility. So we like to partner with arts organizations, with musical collaborators, because we find that the more people we can collaborate with, the better we can do.
How about your educational programs for youth, and why is that important to
Definitely.
the mission?
So in 2016, we started the education program here. We had 24 students enroll that year as kind of a pilot session. And this year, in 2019, we have nearly 300 students enrolled.
And you have something going on now. You have summer art camp going on.
Right. So we're in we do summer camps through June and July, all through August 2nd is when our camps conclude. And we got national recognition because we were one of the first companies to do a Camp Hamilton, where we take all that great Lin-Manuel Miranda stuff. We've partnered with Operation Breakthrough, who those kids are really attracted to that and really feel heard and included in that type of music and experience. And then we do, we specialize in kind of whatever we feel is urgent and immediate in the moment. Like The Greatest Showman was a big hit a few years ago, so we have a camp called The Greatest Showman. This is the greatest show, where we kind of specialize in acrobatics and circus and the musical theater components that tie into that theme. But beyond that, we've partnered with the Girl Scouts for a few years now. We do specifically Girl Scouts-oriented workshops, musical theater workshops. We have spring break camps with Operation Breakthrough, where we actually go into Operation Breakthrough. We travel to them there, and we give them an immersive experience for 2 weeks at a time. So the education program it really is something that if I talk long about it, I'll start getting teary-eyed, because when you see these kids, performing on their last day, all like-minded kids with the same goal and agenda in mind, it's really moving.
Now you mentioned Lin-Manuel Miranda, and now your next production's In the Heights. Can you tell us a little bit, for someone who's not aware of what In the Heights is about, can you give us a little synopsis?
Definitely. So In the Heights, of course, it was nominated it was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, won multiple Tony Awards, as you said. Lin-Manuel, who's like super famous now, Mary Poppins and everything else. It's an inner city story. It's really a culturally diverse story about pride and ethnicity, pride in your neighborhood, about finding your place. It takes place in Washington Heights, which is very culturally diverse. The main character is Dominican Republic, but there's Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and white people and brown people all over the place in the story. And what's great about it is that it just shows that in any given neighborhood, community can be found. And your family is really where you decide to set roots in. So it's a great story, kind of paved the way for his career as kind of a hip-hop style musical. It's getting produced all the time now because of Hamilton. Of course, he's a household name because of Hamilton. But I think what you'll find within the Heights, for the people that don't know it, is that it sounds a lot like Hamilton, except it doesn't have the same kind of orchestral production value because he didn't have that much money back then. But it's got the same style, the same flair. His voice is so unique, and it's so prevalent in that musical as well. We have Nedra Dixon directing that for us. Super proud. And I told you earlier that we have Amanda Ziev, who was the assistant lighting designer on Hamilton, who's coming in to do lights for In the Heights for us. So we're really excited to see what they come up with.
And if people are interested in finding out more about the programs and about getting tickets for In the Heights, where would they go?
So the easiest place is to go online to musicaltheaterheritage.com or mthkc.com. Either will work. You can call us the box office. It's 816-221-6987. We're pretty easy to find. We're in Crown Center. Google In the Heights, Kansas City. I'm sure we'll come up.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today.
Of course. Thank you.
The Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund supports local nonprofits that bring cultural, social, educational, and recreational activities to our area. To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/ntdf.